But overall, the last two games, I like where we're at. But we got to continue to do it. We've yet to be consistent, in my opinion. You can be consistent and lose a game, and I think Milwaukee was an example of that. I thought we played the right spirit, but we just have to have that consistent effort. You think of those two games. Today's practice was extremely hard as far as the way they went. It wasn't long. We got to get that mentality.
Doc, you touched on the second quarter against Milwaukee. It seems really throughout the season, the second quarter has been one of the rougher ones for you.
Yeah, second or the end of the third. I mean, just look when Kevin goes out for the most part. But, that's an error we have to fix, and it may be how we change our rotations, and it may be other things. I don't know what it is yet, but we're working on it.
Do you feel you're getting closer to getting there?
Yeah, I feel our team is getting closer to getting there, which would mean all that. I like where our team's going, but that can change in an hour. So we just have to keep going.
You talk about the mindset, the aggressive mindset, the focus, and all that.
Yeah.
How difficult is it really to have that for 82 games for a whole season?
Well, you're not. But you can have your way of playing. We haven't established that yet. And so once you get that, you're going to still have some flat nights. It's human nature. I can accept that. But you have to prepare yourself every night to have a great night, and you come out flat. Well, that's life.
Did you guys openly acknowledge 17-0 start in that game? Did you guys talk about how the defense was in that first quarter and all that?
We didn't acknowledge it much. I mean, we did a little bit yesterday, but. It was a lot of good things, obviously, defensively. It was a lot of great things offensively.
Yeah.
So.
People notice how much Rondo means to this team. You look at the roster like, okay, I have him back.
Yeah.
How do you take that?
I just take it that I have him back. I mean, shoot, Rondo is important, but Kevin's important, and Paul. I mean, we should have won both games. You can make a case without Rondo. Having said that, we need him. It's a team game, guys. The day that one guy is going to change the team and make them win every game, that's not going to happen.
What kind of things did you see with Rajon out?
Well, I thought the ball movement was better in some ways, but I don't know if it was smarter necessarily. You still want the ball in Rondo's hands. But I thought it allowed other guys to understand how important that is. And I think they saw that. So, there's always a positive in any negative. And you knew something good was going to happen. You knew more bad not happening. But overall, you can always get something out. When Kevin misses a game, Hall, you have to find something.
Is there a tendency to rely too much? When you talk about ball movement, you've got a guy that's got the ball and commands it. Is it almost a tendency to rely too much on that?
No, I'm sure there's a tendency there. I don't think we do that, and if we do that, we try to get out of that. I can tell you that.
How are you preparing differently for this game with Rondo back in terms of demanding guys like Jeff Green to stay aggressive?
No different. I mean, the game plan stays the same whether Rondo's in or out. Everybody has to stay aggressive. So if one guy thinks because another guy comes back he can relax, then that's not a good thing.
Have you seen a film with this? Did Rondo learn this time around from what he did wrong?
I think you're going to have to ask Rondo that one. I don't want to get into that head. I think the obvious lesson that you all know is that he can't miss games. And so the way he can't miss games is, he has to control his emotions better. But that's me saying that. That means nothing.
What have you seen on film as far as what the Timberwolves bring to the floor in terms of being challenging, things like that?
Well, they're challenging because their strength is our weakness. They're not a good rebounding team. They're an amazing rebounding team. Kevin Love is one of the best rebounders of our era. I know that's saying something early on in his career, but he is. I mean, I sit there and watch the Olympics where, two of those games early in the Olympics that were kind of close in the first half, the USC would have been down by 20, but Kevin Love just kept getting, he was the only big on the floor, and he kept getting rebounds, and you stare at it and watch it, and it's an art. I mean, he has it. It's a gift for him. And then they have the other big who's 7 feet tall and a monster. So, and Karolinko, who's not going to be here, but if he is, then they got another one. So they've had a good summer as far as their acquisitions, and they make it difficult for them.
And with Kevin, he has the ability to.
Trying to think of ways that can translate it to your team? With
Well,
Kevin?
they're different players. Kevin Love and Kevin Garnett are completely different.
I'm talking about other
players.
guys in your team.
Yeah, it's some. But honestly, Steve, it's like the same argument you can make about knocking the ball off the rim. That rule. And I was listening to all the guys in the competition committee. Well, if you do this, all these guys, and I'm sitting there, the same guys that get the offensive rebounds will be the same guys that knock the ball off the rim. If you look at the USA team, the guy who had the most knock off the rims, Kevin Love. So you know what I mean? It's art. Some guys are great at it. Some teams, as a team, we have to be better at it. But we're not going to be better at it because of the way Kevin Love plays.
How unusual is it for a player like him to be such a good rebounder, but still have the ability to stretch the floor the way he can?
Yeah, it is, because he's away from the basket some, but not a lot. When he's away, he's shooting it, so that means there's no offensive rebound that time. But he just, watching him, he has a gift. I played with Mark Landsberger, and they remind me so much. Mark was the same way. Mark was a gifted rebounder, and it had no rhyme or reason to it. He got the balls, he broke the balls early. He was terrific.
Did Leandro practice today? Is he still?
He's sick. Yeah.
Still sick?
Yeah.
Do you think he'll play tomorrow, or?
I don't know really. I have no idea.
San Antonio Landsberger?
Or Atlanta.
Vanilla Shaw.
You're old.